Assembling a gear list is a crucial part of every project that you do. Depending on the type of shoot you're doing, your gear list is going to look different. That's true for the budget that you have to work with. Your equipment list could be as small as just getting one camera, a couple of lenses, a tripod, some batteries, and then it can go up to, getting a ton of grip equipment, lights, bigger lenses, getting a jib or a crane or a dolly or different type of stabilizer. So it varies from project to project, but today I just want to take some time and go over how I build my gear list for my shoots, and hopefully you guys can find some helpful tips there. So for this example, I'm going to show you guys a gear list that I had to build for a live performance shoot that I worked on recently. And for this shoot, I was the director, kind of producer, and DP. So basically I just had to facilitate the crew, make sure everyone shows up, and make sure everyone has the right equipment. So let's dive straight in. So first off, we were planning on shooting with Pocket 6K cameras. So I had to get, I think between the 8 cameras, I had to rent 6 Pocket cameras. Basically, 2 of my camera operators already had Pocket cameras, so I just threw the extra budget towards them to bring their cameras in. So here I have 6 Pocket 6A cameras. I had to rent multiple lenses, 18 to 35s and 50 to 100s. I had to rent multiple easy rigs for my camera operators to wear, so they won't be doing handheld the entire time. I had to get a Dana dolly. I had to also do a key light for the main talent. Luckily for this live performance, we had a lighting director that we were working with, and that person just took care of doing all the lighting from above, and then all I had to do was figure out the key light for the talent. So what we had to do is I had a huge 12 by 12 silk, and then I was blowing basically 2 Licos through the silk, diffusing it, and then just creating a nice soft warm key light on the talent. So we had to get that. Had to get small HDs, monitors, external monitors for all the cameras. We had to get, SSD hard drives because we're doing like 9 songs, twice through. So we need enough space for that. Had to get a Teradek, different types of, HDMI cables, and a lot of equipment also for multicam switching, which I don't have included in this list. That was a separate list that I had to work with my multicam tech to figure out. But this is basically just a quick look through of what my gear list looked like for this shoot. So after the shoot was done, I had to make sure to go through this whole list and check stuff off and make sure I have it in the right bag so I don't have to pay for missing items. But here's the truth. Most of the time, whatever you have available to you is completely fine. Part of freelancing, being a director, DP, one-man band, is to just get creative with what you have access to. With different projects, you need to prioritize different types of gear. For example, if I'm shooting a music video, I want to make sure that I have a couple of RGB quasars that I can use to throw different colored lights on my talent. But let's say if you have a corporate interview shoot, maybe you need to prioritize your sound equipment to make sure that you get the audio right, and you need to prioritize, getting the right location and having the proper lighting equipment to create a nice, soft interview light. But here's how I generally prioritize my gear list. First thing that I try to prioritize on my gear list is lighting equipment. Unless the location you're shooting in has a ton of natural light coming in, then I would suggest you have a minimum of 3 lights with you, so you can at least do a 3-point lighting setup. The lighting that you do for your video helps transform the look of the project. And the second thing I try to prioritize in my gear list are lenses. The quality of your glass determines the quality of your image. It plays a huge role. So invest in some good glass and you'll see how it elevates your project. Right now, my favorite go-to lenses are the Sigma art lenses. I have an 18 to 35 and a 50 to 100, and those 2 lenses pretty much get me through most shoots. And then the next thing that I try to prioritize is figuring out what type of camera movements are we gonna have in the video. So do we need a dolly? Do we need a crane? Do we need a gimbal of some sort? And then I take a look at my budget and see if I can fit You know, if we don't have a budget for steady or gimbal, then do we just kind of go with an easy rig? So those are the questions you have to ask with every project. Luckily, I've already invested in a Ronin S2 that helps me with a lot of the camera movements that I need. And occasionally, if I need a Dana Dolly or something, then I can go and rent that from a rental house. If you don't have much room in your budget to rent out lights and different types of lenses, then try to prioritize shooting in locations that offer a lot of natural light. You know, something as affordable as a $30 reflector can take you a long way. And sometimes you just have to take the DIY route and make your own pieces of equipment. For example, I had a car shoot a couple of years ago, and I just didn't want to spend a couple $100 on a car mount. So I went to Home Depot and got this shower handle for like 20 bucks and got a tripod head that I screwed through. And I'll show you guys some clips of how this thing turned out. I can't tell you guys how many times I've used this for different projects. So the lesson is that whenever it comes down to budget, you know, as a creative, you just figure it out, you just problem solve, you go and make up your own equipment to make sure that you get those types of shots that you're wanting. Last tip I would give you guys is to keep an equipment list with you at all times, especially when you have a bigger shoot, like the budget that I just went through with you guys in the beginning of the video. You know, at the end of that video, even though I went through my list and did my returns to the multiple rental houses, I still had a couple of things missing. So it's really good to have a list with you so you can check things off as you pack it in the right bags. You know, when you have 30 batteries and 10 different types of cables and multiple camera bodies going different places. So it's really good to have an equipment list, so keep that in mind. Creating a gear list is a vital part of your pre-production process because you want to make sure that you show up to your shoot ready to go. The last thing you would want is to show up to your shoot and realize that you're missing a couple of crucial pieces of equipment that you really need. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Please subscribe and like and comment below. If you're a filmmaker looking for some filmmaking assets, I have some free stuff linked down below, so check that out, and I'll see you guys soon.